What's up? Welcome back to Between Two Torches Splaying Dat Edition. In the Splaying Dat Edition, that's when we go through various styles of pendants, different glass blowing techniques that you're going to see on our Etsy store or in the booth at festivals. So that way when you look at these pieces, you kind of know what goes into them, how the components go together to make the final product that you see in front of you. I want to start with Fume Tech. Fuming is the combination of silver and or gold with glass to produce this beautiful combination of color spectrum from orange to silver, blue, green. It's great. There's a lot that goes into it, a lot of different techniques, infinite possibilities. Here's one that I made several years ago, probably a year into getting into fume work. And as you can see, it's just a nice combination of orange and blue, silver, green in there. This piece had some issues in the back where it's all cracked, so I can't sell it, but I keep it around because I still love it so much. I wanted to show you guys a board, an example board of what you would expect to see at the booth available in the world of fuming. Let's just start over here with Mr. Matt Neebs. Does these incredible steely skulls, and he loves to use a combination of opals, silver, gold. This is an implosion, a gold implosion fume back behind. Moving on to the next one is Aaron Carty's window fume style with a giant beautiful opal accent in the middle. This is Alex Fern's bullet style pendant with a very deep different take on silver implosion. Another one of Aaron's pieces. I love that. Nice gold work there. We've got Pat Freeman. He does our chaos fumes, and he loves to work with opals as well. And he brings some of the tightest chaos work, if there is such a thing, I've ever seen in my life. Eicher glass. He does a great kind of liquid fiery look to a combination of gold and silver fume in these kind of vertical shaped pendants. This is an older, just kind of straight gold and silver fume implosion I did several years ago. This one's an example of how I've combined a dichro storm with a silver implosion to get kind of a neat combination look there. I haven't actually sold these yet to the public. I still only have a few. But here's another one of Aaron's pendants. Just a very neat design with this one. I had to show this one off. This is Alex Fern's as well, the very detailed flower fume. Love this tech, it's great. This is one that I made. I think this is my first gold-silver combination pendant ever, probably 2013. It's been a hot minute. I'll keep it forever, it's my baby. And then we have another one of Aaron's nice spiral fumes. And then also we have Caleb, aka Liquid Fire. He does quite a lot with this tech as well. You'll see him with a lot of electroform pieces, which we'll go over that later on in videos. Yeah, he incorporates gemstones with copper and glass, and it's masterful every time. So anyway, and this is a piece I made. Again, it's got some years on it. It's probably 2013 or 14. I've dropped it several times, broken off a couple of handles, so I made new handles for it, brought it back to life, and it continues. So anyway, there's a brief intro for you, and there will be many Fume Tech videos to come. Just thought I will start with an overview video before we dive into the rest. Bye. As promised, it is implosion pendant time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are going to do a fumed implosion pendant now. So we're starting with about a 19mm piece of heavy wall tubing from Cymax. And I have a little bit of glass on the end I need to get off before I can get started. Get that nice and hot, hunty ready. Just pull that extra glass off. when you're blowing bubbles with glass, you want to make sure the wall thickness is as even as possible. So when you do your various operations, everything happens at a uniform rate when you implode it. So just get a little bit of heat in there, and I'm going to blow a pretty reasonable bubble. You want a fairly thin wall, but not so thin it will collapse on you later. That's definitely comes with practice. So, wherever my silver went, I'll find that, and then we'll get moving. Let's see here. Yeah. So here's my piece with a little, oh, there it is, little dot of silver on the end. So what I want to do is go with what they call a reducing flame, which is kind of a fluffier flame, not so sharp. Because if you do too sharp of a flame, it will actually burn the silver right off the glass. So you want to introduce the silver right in the candles of the flame. And as the silver interacts with the flame, it releases silver molecules, which creates this very reflective surface. So we can see on here, there's a bit of a haze on that bulb. So I want to keep it kind of warm, just bake in the silver a little bit so it doesn't float away on you when you try to add whatever your next step is. So for me, I'm just going to take a clear rod, about a 4mm or 5mm, and what I'm going to do is just trap the silver against the glass bulb with little dots. Because after I finish applying the dots, I'm going to burn off all the remaining silver, and what I'm left with is what becomes my implosion. And hopefully my phone doesn't overheat before I get to the end of this. I'll move as fast as I can. Get about 10 minutes before the phone overheats. Need a better method for recording. So dot placement, if you're just starting out, just want to kind of nice and even distribution. What you don't want are the dots to touch each other. I think it's always a challenge as you start to build your skill to get the dots as close together as possible without touching, because the closer together, higher density of implosion fingers, it looks really, really cool. So, finished with the dots. Next step is just gently leaving that flame chemistry pretty neutral, pretty reduced, so you don't lose your silver quite yet. So you just kind of encourage those dots to melt onto the bulb without collapsing it just yet. So once you feel like those dots are pretty well fused in, and you feel safe you're not going to lose your silver, you can pop into a more aggressive flame that does a better job at melting in everything to start the implosion. You kind of slow it down. I think in the beginning I was trying to work too quickly, but this process is fairly slow, but it's worth it if you take your time. So you can see the silver burning off, and I don't know if the camera can pick up the implosion happening or not, but right now, the way an implosion works is heat always travels toward cold. So if you force heat like a meteor against the end of the piece, the color or the fume that you've added will travel toward the cold, which causes a very neat looking implosion. Cools off a little bit, you'll probably be able to see it. If I turn, yeah, you can see, there you go. See that? Kind of like a sea anemone. So that's all silver molecules. So I'm going to heat this up once more to give it a nice twist. And I just kind of do a warm connection to the back there with a punty. Focus the heat on the front of the pendant. Let that twist happen. And when you feel like that's enough twist, just kind of burn off that punty. Maybe go in and pull off some of the scuzz you might have created there with that connection. And we'll find a backing color, which for this one I'm going to use cobalt blue, which is a nice dark cobalt. Looks very, very nice behind silver fume. At this point, you're going to make a backer for the pendant, which the backer is optional. There's lots of fumed pieces out there with no backer at all, just a nice silver spiral and a clear back, and it's a totally different look. Beautiful, beautiful look. Anyway, I'm gonna melt that in. Go ahead and grab that punty we were using earlier to make our dots. Reconnect to the back of the pendant. Come to the front, and we're gonna burn off the pendant from the rest of the tube. There's a few ways to do this. I get this area, the neck area, warm. Then I sort of blow some air in there to expand the front. I think it's worth mentioning I haven't really had any training for technique or anything, so anyone watching, if I can do this, if there's a better way to do this, let me know. But this is what I've been doing for years, so it works. Get that bubble hot, just kind of pull it off with some scrap glass you have laying around. Then you begin to just kind of melt down and get your lens shape, whatever that shape may be. Just kind of focus that flame on the front of the pendant and let it turn into a lens. And once it rounds itself out completely, you start to have your final look to your pendant. We'll let that cool down some, and you can see it's not the best spiral I've made before, but you know, whatever. This works for a demo. Yeah, not too bad, huh? It's nice and quick, after some practice anyways. Pick a color for a handle. I'm gonna pick purple sable. It's one of my go-tos for handles. Just get that color warm. Add it to the top here. Get you a nice gather. Melt that gather in before you use bail biters to pinch the handle. Alright, then you head in here with those bail biters. Give it a nice pinch. I'm trying to show you in the camera and not burn my fingers off at the same time. These bail biters are a great method to get in here, and these are the tungsten tipped ones. I used the stainless for a long time, but found that these, especially when working with a larger bale, is much, much easier, cleaner. So yeah, kind of there we are. Pretty nice little fumed pendy. Of course, we come in here and take our trusty diamond shears, warm them up a little bit. Off screen, I'm just tapping the rod to knock the pendant off the rod so I can finish the back. I just come in here and polish my little connection. Mash it flat so that we have a finished product. Thank you, guys. Good morning. Yesterday I did a demo of a fumed implosion pendant. Here's the little guy right there. As you can see, it's pretty cool. So after this one on the video, I made some other implosion pendants, but this one's fumed. So this, for example, is if I were to use a small cobalt colored rod as the dots that trapped the silver against the glass, I would get this cobalt backed silver implosion look. And again, there's no additional backer on this. It's really just the cobalt dots. So no fuming at all, but just use some reducing colors to do implosions. Same technique, except you don't do any fuming. You blow a bubble out and then you pick your color and you start making dots. So this one is one of the ones I made yesterday with, I believe Purple Sable is the color name. It's a reducing color. Some neat variations in that one. Same with this one, larger dots. Same style. I used 3 different colors in this one. You might not be able to tell, but there's actually 3 different colors that just came out looking kind of similar on the inside. Anyway, there's the finished product, and we'll get on to our next video. Thanks, guys.